about to hop on the ferry. I'm here with the Kakariki. The first time I've actually gone anywhere with it off the island. Got to get on this ferry first. Then I'm heading down the Rotoiti. Great. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Well, traffic jam, big time. It's been like this for I don't know how long. It looks like it goes into one lane, and even the other side, there's hardly any traffic coming through. So there's major roadworks going on, you guys. Major. Oh, it's just so beautiful. Stunning. Golly. Where is everybody? Hang on, who's that? Is that Hugo? Oh, wow, look at that. God, it's just cool. It's coming on this dog. Oh my God. Bonjour! G'day! Oh, this place is so beautiful. It's like they're coming. Everybody's coming. Great to see. Oh, wow. Well. It's just arrived. The Longsteps. Well, that was an interesting night. I slept here. Under the underbelly of a Scamp. Very comfortable looking at the stars. And the Southern Cross move across the sky. I just woke up. Peter's just there getting ready for the day in this Pathfinder. Wow. Yeah, I've stepped in an underbelly of a Scamp before. But I tell you what, it's pretty good. Nice flat area to keep out of the dew. Good morning.
Locker here, so I peel the anchor out.
Yes. Cockroach. Lots of them in Aussie. Oh yeah.
So that's the main anchor there.
Yes.
So that gets loaded out.
Yep.
Over the side of the boat here.
Yes.
I then hook that onto the anchor rod.
Yes. How long? Oh yeah.
And then I can just pull the whole thing forward. And my anchor's at the bow.
God, that's good.
And then this piece just jams in there.
And then to pull it up.
To pull it up, I pull the anchor up until the chain hits there. And then I'm just pulling. As I keep pulling the anchor in from at the back, the chain goes there, so I let that right go.
Gotcha.
And the whole thing just
Of course. It's such a simple system. And you do it all from the cockpit.
Yep, don't have to leave the safety of the cockpit.
That's pretty good, Pete.
Isn't that surreal? Good morning, viewers.
Nice boat. Very nice boat.
One of the best in the fleet. How large is this? 6 metres.
It's got an awful lot of strings on it.
Yes, it's got lots of strings, which is bloody wonderful.
Hey, you must be the only.
On strings go sailing in a laser.
You're the only person in the world towing a whaler with a EV.
Absolutely, and it works. And I've just come 412 kilometres with it.
412 kilometres, and how many times did you have to charge that battery?
It's 3/4 full now, and I charged 3 times from about 50%.
All the way from Wellington up to Rotoiti. That's a long way.
412 kilometres.
Yeah.
I'm making a little video on the topic.
And did you have some people's friends say you couldn't do it?
Yes.
Wow.
Couldn't be done. Couldn't be done.
Is this all teak, is it?
No. You'll be able to talk to Peter Mertens who built it, but it's Quilo.
Oh, wow. The famous emerald. Wow.
I don't know if it's famous.
Oh.
Right, now what we do is we pull this little black string here, and that comes through to there. This goes through the shackle, and then we close this lever down and we have rig tension. That's it, job done.
Yeah, that's the best system you can have on a larger vessel. Because that's quite a height, that mast.
It was a metre taller when I got it.
Gee. That's your bumpkin.
There we go. That's him on.
Yeah, really fits well, doesn't it?
It's ordinary type supposed to.
I see your tiller extension under your tiller. Look, that's
Why not?
why not? Yeah.
Why does it have to be on top?
No, that's right. And yeah, that's called your skateboard, and that whole engine tips in really easily.
There's a guy in America building one of these, and I said to him, get your outboard early before you get too far along and figure out the arc that it's got to go through. I suspect if it had a little wee tiny outboard, but they've still got the distance, they've still got this distance between the bottom of the prop and the bottom of the plates.
From China. Nice. 4-stroke. 2.6. I like that size. Yeah, nice little. That's for the mast. Yeah.
Chocks for the trailer.
Oh yeah. It's all
Windex, which should be up on the mast.
Yeah. Nice sponge. Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Master port.
Oh yeah, that's another one of these fancy blocks. Yeah, look at that little spot there. Oh. This tabernacle system is brilliant. Oh, that's the best one I've seen. Oh yeah.
It's got a little pin in there.
Yeah. That works well. Oh, she's immaculate. It's actually quite windy out there. I see he might be putting a reef in as well. Very blustery. It's yeah, quite strong wind. Where have you come from?
Caddy cat, I think.
Kitty cat.
No, from Honakiwi.
If he said Honakiwi, would you know where that was?
No,
Can I ask you what kind of boat is it?
it's a Pathfinder.
Yeah. great. It's great.
Same as yours.
No, that's fantastic. It's really good
I
news.
thought you had no.
It's fantastic news that I'd like to welcome you to the club.
Thank you. Left hand shake.
Yeah.
Was that a Masonic shake? Right.
Show us that again. Oh, the stern. Oh,
It's a handsome transom. Handsome transom. Actually, there's a handsome transom competition online.
that is really something.
You know what the timber is?
No,
Tasmanian blackwood.
Tasmanian blackwood.
From Malcolm's farm.
He's got funny things here too. Oh no, this is even better than my one.
It's better than both of yours put together.
It's actually.
These are squabs, Ross. You're going to have to borrow some squabs.
Yeah, look at. Oh no, I'm getting sick of this. I might as well just go home.
Look at the little box for the stern anchor, the power box up the back there.
He's got a bloody toilet in it as well.
He's got the bimini.
He's got a short drop in it as well, Ross. So you no longer have to hang over the side.
It's got.
Look at the box electrics back there.
This is for your own use. You're not going to put this in line, are you?
This is ridiculous. He's gone over the top. He's over the top with the Pathfinder. He's gone over the top.
He's even got an electric winch.
Have you got one of these?
That's going to take over, right?
No, that's not electric.
But is it a hand winch?
It's a pull a cord from over there.
Oh, you pull it down.
So I reckon the
With a UPVC cap?
I reckon the real estate up here was too valuable to use for a winch. So I made my own winch there,
Oh, that's clever.
and it goes back to there. That's a 9 to 1.
Good old Kiwi ingenuity, eh?
I've got one of these. I've got a Scamp in build at the moment. It's still being built.
Wow.
It's even got the fire extinguisher.
Yes.
The rudder's hopeless if you're going backwards.
Yes.
So you want to turn the motor.
Yeah, turn the motor.
And with that, you can turn the motor. You can spin it right round.
And yeah, with that curve.
Well, just to make it look nice.
Wow. Gotcha, the position of it, yeah.
And recovery rope.
What's this?
Don't pull it. Don't pull
What's
it.
the idea there?
That's so that if you fall overboard, you just pull it, and it makes a loop about down to here. So
That's that's only for scamps, isn't it?
no, you can use it for anything. It depends what you've fallen out of.
What's this? What's this? A bait? What's that for?
That's just to put shit in.
It's a put shit in bucket.
Same with the cuddy camera. I had to trim that.
You got cubby holes and
Look how nice and tidy the fenders are. Nothing like yours.
See, these were what I used to have under here before these boxes.
these boxes. What do you put in those boxes over there? What are you storing in them? Just bits and bobs, or you
Lights,
electric?
electrics, all sorts of things. Sunscreen,
Yeah, stuff you need. Radio.
yeah, all sorts of things.
So that's your tiller, is it?
Yep, and it has an interesting feature here. You pull that pin out because if you're turning to starboard, it will hit the motor. So if you're turning to starboard, you just go like that, and it fits behind the motor, and so you can do a sharp turn to starboard without any problems. And when you've finished your turn, you just put it back there, and you put the pin in.
So it's designed because of your motor.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like a gun.
Yeah,
So
it does.
If there's any
Trouble out in the water.
with a sight,
Welcome, Graham. Welcome.
g'day Graham.
Hello, Bigger. Graham, has this design a stomp slightly or a tread muchly?
Treat longly.
Tread longly.
Treat longly.
I'm good, thank you.
How long have you owned it for, Grace? May I ask?
Built in 2015.
2015. And did you build it?
Yes.
And what's the purpose of making a sort of a scamp this big and stretching it and making it so? What's the concept?
Well, okay, first it's the tread lightly, so that's the predecessor of the Scamp.
Yes.
So the tread lightly was originally 14 foot.
Yes.
And I thought, no, I can't lie down in the middle of it properly. I'm going to have to make it longer. And that's my main
And how much
motivation.
longer is it?
It's about 2 foot longer, about 600 longer.
And that gives you every dimension's basically the same dimension bigger.
Yeah, near enough 20%.
20% bigger.
Wider, taller.
Impressive. I don't know where we are. We're somewhere.
On Lake
What do you think?
Rotoiti.
Beautiful?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Wow, it's lovely. Yeah. Just resting in the sheltered area. Under these panga trees. Oh, it's stunning. Absolutely beautiful. There's a little beach here. Looks nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful lake. See that? Gosh, you did well. Perfect. Well done, Skipper. Just right.
Make sure we keep our boat.
No, it won't. Can't go away. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Push it back here. Don't worry, it won't go. Good. Levin. Wow. You're all the way from Levin. Gee, we got them there from everywhere. That's lovely. There's quite a few boats that are down there on the...
Down there doing the
all the way from Wellington. Wow, a Scamp. We're in Scamp land. See that seat there? Is the seat, how does that work?
It's like this. Like that.
Oh, cool, that is good. Yeah. Is it very comfortable?
Yeah,
Very.
very. Considering it's boat.
Oh, wow, that's such a clever idea. I've never seen that before. Did you invent it yourself? See your oars, they're different, aren't they? Did you make them as well? Ah, someone's going out. Amazing, it's late. He's going out. He must know what he's doing because it's mighty windy out there. Sail a Pathfinder.
I sail a Hartley 12 footer.
I sail a Tamanori.
I have a Pathfinder and I don't sail it much.
Ditto, I have a whaler, same problem.
Pathfinder, R5000.
Plastic boo.
Nothing.
I'm building a Scamp.
Oh, cool. There's the gentleman over there. He sails a Goat Island skiff, and it's pretty quick.
That's Alan.
There's boats out there. And there's just cars and trailers everywhere. And he's come up from Wellington. There's just lots of activity going on. We're all going to meet up for dinner. Joe himself's getting things ready. People meandering around. Oh, that's it. Food, is it? Yells up. Looking good, Graham. Real nice. You had a great sail out there. Getting blown around a little bit. Did well though. You can see these boats are all lined up here. Getting ready for tomorrow, I suppose. Yeah. Paul Mullings himself is here. Having a sausage, relaxing. Never seen so many Welsford boats. There's the whaler. Look at another one over here too. Nice little navvy.
Where the good sailing is. But I've got to say, I'm building a navigator.
Did you build your navvy? Did you build your navigator?
I haven't built it yet, I've got plans. It'll probably be, I've got to finish this boat before I start. I'm not going to leave the boat half done and then start.
Mr. Welsford is here. That's good. And he's getting his boat ready, so that's good. Everybody here is waiting on Mr. Welsford. We're on the wharf here, ready for our instructions. And we're being escorted out with these two majestic old launches. We're going to be given our brief very soon of where we're heading to. We've got all sorts of people here today. We're all here waiting for Mr. Welsford. You can see everybody's pretty happy. We've got our boats ready. Hugo's ready, he's got a Scamp all ready to go. Paul Mullings is here, I know that. You can't miss him with that lovely white hat.
It's Admiral Mullings.
And here we have the Kakariki,
The famous
possibly the best ever Pathfinder built.
I don't think so.
Of the best design in the world, apparently.
Yep. We've got all sorts of boats, and we've got a beautiful, absolute stunning Goat Island skiff over there coming up with us as well. Wow, and we've really have got a day given us today. Look at the weather. There's about 10 knots out there, and we really have got it good.
Bruce's boat and Warwick's boat. So there's a distinct limit, but those would like to go with those folk, step up. And there's a few other folk around who have got a space on their boat. While I'm here, I said 24, so that's thereabouts. That's close enough here. We have tonight at 7 o'clock we've got the buffet dinner up at the pub, $49, special chicken and some sort of cholesterol laden dessert. So that's cool. So what we're going to do here, once we've got most of the boats in the water, we might get old Noisy Bum here with his horn, otherwise known as Graham, to let rip when we're all ready to leave. And that's where we're going to have lunch. We're going to talk and eat and do that sort of stuff till about 2 o'clock or shortly after, and then straight across the lake is the hot springs. If there's a bit of breeze and a bit of enthusiasm, some of us might go for a little sail around with Naira and just around the corner to the loop. We might do that. So
We're actually on the map, is it? Are we going?
We are here at the moment,
Yes.
and this is the channel that we have to go out and through. So this is the shallows you have to avoid.
Yes.
And then we're going up the lake, and I think that he just said we're just going into Terrero Bay there.
Is it beautiful?
It is. It's lovely in there.
Thank you. And you're going to escort us out. Thanks so much.
No problem.
Yeah, that's what. Is that where we're going?
It's a big sandy bay and a little sandy crescent bay.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see
We'll
it
be,
now.
we'll be on the big one.
Yep.
And it's a great little spot. There's a bit of shade.
Yep.
I've got a big shade awning
Yes.
that I've
Perfect.
brought as well, so I can.
Very small question.
Yes.
Are we waiting for the Longsteps to launch?
Yes.
Or is we just buggering off?
No, we got to wait for him. We got to cheer him.
They call it Big Sandy Bay
Yes.
for the reason that it's got a sandy beach, but the lake's fairly high at the moment, so the beach is quite narrow. Fast pitch onto the sand.
Hey, what's your nickname? Because I know you're holding a sort of a gadget. So what does Paul Mullings call you?
Captain Gadget.
Captain Gadget. Yeah. Have you every gadget possibly to buy?
Well, pretty much. I'm.
He's got a bit of hat. He's cool.
hammock. Just saying.
Here comes some latecomers. Just arriving now. They've just missed the brief, but that's okay. There's not a lot of wind, so we're okay. Not here, but there'll be more wind out on the lake. Enjoy your day. We'll see you there.
We've got 4 of them here today. Most of them are in the States. Looks very Asian, doesn't it?
What? Why are you saying that?
Because if you stand there all day videoing, I'll beat you.
You're being very humble there, Alan. Very humble. No motor, eh? No motor. Watch out for that beautiful navigator. Don't you dare hit that. Is he coming?
John said I've got a 15-metre boat. I've changed her into a 15-metre boat from a 30-metre boat.
Is this
Because she looks okay. She looks okay at 15 metres.
The accommodation just worked out perfectly yesterday. Right on the water's edge. We all have our own rooms. They're just about ready to launch. All these Welsford boats going on. I don't know how many we've got, but there's a few of them. It looks like a whaler to me. John Welsford whaler. Yeah. Oh, never. Looks a bit different in the water. Very different. Wow. There she is. For the world to see. John Welsford's Longsteps. And it looks sleek, beautiful. It looks something different. We haven't seen anything like this before. Everybody's very excited. We've been talking about this for a long time. All the questions have been answered. Now we have to see her in action and see the proven case of the Longsteps. I think John will be rowing at start and then he'll be sailing later on. What a glorious boat. He's done so well. Congratulations, John. The moment of joy amongst fellow Welsford kids. Nothing better than the whaler. Majestic. Well, I can see the Longsteps coming out. There she is, way over the back. Aha, we've got somebody taking the reef out, and that's a good idea. A very prudent sailor, no doubt. Went out with one reef in. But he's got it sorted. Do have an escort. He's getting pretty close. Arapawa. Nice. We're all waiting for John Welsford. He's coming. There he is. He's just over there. Coming down. Yep. That's the Longsteps. Wow, that's cool. Pink. Lovely. Just inside this cove here, all the boats are sailing past. I decided to motor in here and just have a little bo peep. Got some power lines here, so I don't think I'll go underneath them. Some of them have resorted to their motors. You can hear the one going here. The bush. That's where we're going, way down the lake. Hugo's just found himself a little cove. He's got to nip in there and have a little rest. He's got his little outboard. Silent as. What a great setup. Oh. Yeah, it's not like the ocean. And all this bush here. Nice clear water. All the way from Wellington.
You okay, Rich? Good. Sit in the back of the boat, we'll just lift the front up onto the sand a wee bit.
Is he okay?
Mr. Blue Scamp, got a space for you here, front of the boat. The good stuff. The good for you stuff.
You've done this before? You've done this before? Yes. A few times?
May I?
They'll actually make them illegal.
Where did you come over?
No, it's too late now. The damage has been done.
Hi. G'day. Howdy. Are you cold? Well done, Petty. You're brilliant. What do you think?
That's nice, yeah.
So, 3 plus 1 makes 4 Pathfinders. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, absolutely. David's Pathfinder's just a real treat to see for me. What have you got to tell us about it, Dave?
Well, this is a pram hood, which is like a collapsible cabin, and I had it made by a canvas boat builder worker, and it provides wonderful shelter, collapses down so that it's basically not there, but in other weather you can pull it up like this. You can come right through here and do whatever you have to do to the mast, and you can zip it up. Wow. You can zip it up like that, and it's completely watertight and weatherproof halfway down the boat.
It's quite high, isn't it? It's sort
Yes,
of, it doesn't detract from the overall
deliberately
looks of
high
it.
so that you can move around inside and
By walking in.
and sit on the centre plate, and it clears my head.
Yeah.
And one of the other really good benefits of it is if you put one reef in the main, you can sail with it up. If you want breeze to come through, you know, when you've got your boom tent which comes from here back to the mizzen mast, you can zip open the front and get a nice breeze right through your tent. Yeah, so
It's a winner, is it?
well, in my book it's a winner.
Yeah, it looks like it's a winner.
Yeah,
And how long does it take you to put it down? Can you show us that?
I can show you it going down. You just flick that one there, flick, you just go like that, fold these round, and you've got these tie downs that just wrap it in place. If you want an open boat, it's basically not there.
How come she's called Tokumahi?
That's Maori for my work, and it's called that because I made it, and it's also called that because it was a transition from employment to retirement. So it bridged that gap when an old man might feel a bit lost,
Heck.
no longer got a career, and so
But you built everything on this boat, all these, even these,
I built the roller furlough, I built the
everything you've done on here is quite fitting, isn't it? Even your tabernacle's pretty cool.
yeah.
You've got a
And
little roller for your
this is the
anchor.
This is the centre plate winch, which is a 12mm bolt goes through right through, and then there's a
Oh yeah.
There's a drum here that's just got a bigger diameter than that, and this diameter is 4.5 times that diameter, and then the rope's captured, comes through a pulley and back onto there, which is a 2 to 1. So there's a 9 to 1. So 35 kilo centre plate, but only about a 4.5 kilo pull on the rope to lift it. This is a spin lock, so have trouble with creases in their sails. This one you just drop down and it's locked tight, but you can pull it up, pull it just a few mil and drop it down again, and it just locks it in a
Called a spin lock.
spin lock.
Wow, are they expensive?
Yes, they are. They're $100 each. But they mean you can position the sail exactly so that you've got no creases in it.
I'm impressed with that anchoring system. You're able just to keep it right in position with those little latches that stops the anchor from falling out if it went capsized. Yeah, easy to just throw over. Yep, anybody can do it. Well, this is a joy to come into this bay. We've got these lovely homemade biscuits and cookies, and oh, we're lucky.
The real pleasure in the design work is the people that I meet through the design work and the building and the places where I meet up with them and the sailing that I do together with them, and it's a real treat. Such a wonderful group of people, so thank you very, very much.
That's great. It was great speaking with you too. And next time, don't forget to bring the Bengay. I'll bring my wits as well. Oh yeah, baby. To la vista.
Two Pathfinders, yay! Well, we're here at the hot pools. Just arrived. There's all sorts of pools that we can go into under all this bush. Welcome to New Zealand. And this is where we buy our tickets. Yeah, we're lucky. Turned out to be perfect. Barbecues and a place to have lunch. Looks like we're all here enjoying it. Here comes the baby Scamp. He's always the last person. But then again, he's a newbie, a rookie, and he's coming. Yep, safe and sorry. The wonderful Scamp. So the water comes out of the ground in the bush down into here, just constantly flowing. Very hot at the top here. And she just flows down into the pools. And the lower you're down, the colder it gets. But the hot pools, well, the very hot ones is the top ones. It's been going for a long time. Let's see a photo here. The old days. It's quite special. That's a little weather station maybe. On our way home. Home sweet home for dinner. Boy, you can't do much better than today, can you? Home sweet home. We're back. It's your little Scamp.
Well, I've had it about 4 years.
4 years.
It was built 3 years before that.
Oh, okay. And you happy with it?
Very.
And
But it's getting the limit of my strength and energy.
You've obviously done a lot of sailing, but I'm curious to know, so why for you have you picked the Scamp?
One, I like the look of it.
The look?
Yeah,
Aesthetic?
yeah, it's only 12 feet long and same length as a sunburst, but much more boatier.
In what respect more boat?
Just bigger. It's the hull is bigger. There's much more space. It's got a cuddy there to give you shelter. You can chorus. We
Yes.
went over with our boats on
Yeah.
trailers, launched
Yeah.
at Havelock, and then we spent a week just camping and sailing.
Because what that could be 87 and still sailing. I think
Yeah.
that's an amazing sort of accolade for what sailing does to people, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
You know, to be on the water at 87.
Never been all that keen on racing.
Yes, okay.
But I did the 24-hour race.
Oh,
with,
okay.
5.5, then a break, and then another 5.5. That's a work day for a bus driver. And so I'm quite used to driving quite a long time.
Yeah.
Sound over here. And we've had some interesting experiences. Some of the people in this room have been part of it. People have sailed across, and I can nominate somebody in this room who sailed across in the P class. Yes, people have sailed across in Opties. There was a guy a few years ago, he welded up the bottom of a light A's Toyota van, took the prop shaft off the back axle and put a propeller on it and drove it across the cook.
People have swum it.
People have swum it, yeah. Not me, I'm not a swimmer.
Crazy people.
But in each case, these would have been a lot of preparation and a lot of luck, and they don't just go when you want to go. It's about preparing your boat. You're going to be out there for 8 hours, 10 hours maybe. If you're really lucky. Last time we got across in 6.5, but it was like a mill pond. The gods were on our side.
And we motor sail.
And we motor sail. For the purists, put your hand up, Richard. Using the motor is not a good thing, but the reality is you want to get off that piece of water as soon as you get on it. So if it's going, there's two problems. One, you run out of wind, as we kind of did on the way back. You need to get your ass off that water, just get going. Be prepared to motor, be prepared to motor for 8 hours. If you don't have the capacity to motor for 8 hours, don't go. But worse than that is the situation that we had going over twice now. Left Mana with nice breeze. I think some of you might have seen the YouTube thing I put up. And we had wind under our bum, and we had the Jenica up, and life was beautiful. It was warm and there was fish and it was lovely. And then 2 hours later we had a southwesterly on the nose, and it was grey and it was cold, it was bumpy, and it was shitty sea. Those are the times to get that motor going and motor sail. Don't be proud. Don't be proud. He's got some experience. But yeah, you got it. It's about getting over there and getting over there quickly. So prepare your boat so that you can do all this stuff. You know you're confident in it.
I'll call you back.
Don't set yourself out to fail by saying, right, I'm going on January the 27th. Because January the 27th, we're blowing its tits off. I mean, it'll be blowing hard. So you've got to be prepared to say, well, I'm going in this time window. You've got to look at the tides. The tides, 4 knots is quite common there, isn't it, Peter? In places. So if you've got 4 knots of tide and you're going this way, where are you in 1 hour? You're 4 nautical miles that way. And all of a sudden, it's getting difficult. So neap tides are when the tide's the least volume and the least current, and the spring tides are the other way around. If you can time it for the neap tides, it's better, there's less current. The information on the charts about where the currents is sort of there. It goes north from when the tide's coming in, and goes south when it's going up, kind of, largely. Sometimes it'll go for 10 hours in the one direction occasionally. So don't depend on it being all super automatic and exactly what you think it's going to be. Expect it to be unexpected. As an example, when we came back last year, we came out of Queen Charlotte Sound, and it was gentle southeasterly sun, calm sea, beauty. Got less and less and less wind. By the time we got out to Cook Rock, out came the motor and off we went, motor sailed the rest of the way. Looking at the little GPS on this thing here, by the way, get something like this. This is a little E-Trex GPS machine. It tells you where, what speed you're doing and what direction. If you get the flasher one, it's got a little kind of chart thing on it. It's a bit hard to read. We were doing 5 1/4 knots, heading for Marna. We could see Marna on in the distance, and we were sailing along, 1.5 knots. There was a tide going 4 knots due west. And you tell me on the chart where you can find that, where it says there's a 4 knots tide going due west. So unexpected things happen with the tide. It's very hard to predict. So be prepared to say, I'm going at the end of January, I'm going to try and get it around the neap tides, and if you get there and it's shitty weather, don't go. Or wait. One of the things that we had on one of our trips over, Richard will remember this, we were going to leave in the morning, about 8 o'clock in the morning, or 8:15 or something, and our good friend who came with us mucked around like an old one at christening, and we didn't leave till, what was 10:30, 11, was it something like that? And that really killed it. The Cook Strait, kind of generally, when the weather's behaving itself, is pretty good in the mornings, and it tends to be a bit crappier in the afternoon. So if you can get out of bed early in the morning, get on the water and get going on the day when the tides are right and the forecast is good.
Sunrise is a good time. We've done it.
Yeah, early. Get out of bed, get going. In fact, if you're organised, get going before sunrise. There's nobody else out there, and you have a little bit of a glimmer of a light on your boat and you're away. But also
South Island, you just head east, yeah.
Yeah, well, and basically we headed west in this case. We were heading for Australia, and then we turned left. There's the particular route that, hang on, I'll just get myself a little bit lost here. So the preparation, and don't try and do it on a certain day. Be prepared to change, be prepared to be flexible, be prepared to not go. Patience, that's what I've said here. A silly thing for the guys from not living down is parking. It's not that easy to dump a car and a trailer in the Wellington or Marna area and leave it safely for 2 weeks or whatever you're going to go for. I think places like the Marna Cruising Club are very, very, very happy to have you there for a while if you're a member, and not so much if you're not. If you've got people you know in the region, then maybe we can organise some parking. But don't assume, like if you go to Havelock, for example, we've been there, gone over in the ferry. Parking at Havelock Marina is brilliant. They're geared up for having boats and cars and trailers staying there for a few weeks. You pay a certain amount for it, but it's secure and it's safe and it's geared up for it. In Wellington, not so much. So yeah, petrol, this is the other P, petrol. I said 8 hours. One of the things that got Richard and I and others when we've gone over on these boats is we have got tired. It's a bloody long way. And if you get over in 6 hours, that's fine, but that's not going to happen. It was the first one, when we went over together, was about 8 or 9 hours.
So that's to Havelock or just to the head?
Hell no, just getting to Ship Cove or thereabouts. This is leaving from Marna, getting to Ship. Don't leave from Wellington, go out through the Crawley Rip, you won't come back. You won't come back, it's terrible. Not in little boats I'm talking about. Yeah, we went from Marna, and the particular trip that we're talking about, that Richard and I were talking about, we left, this is when Grant delayed us considerably, and we wound up in the same situation. We turned into a southwesterly and it got lumpy and it was about 15 knots, and then the fog came. And coincidentally with the arrival of the fog, his GPS failed and Grant's GPS failed, and we couldn't see each other. So if you're going with somebody else, make sure you've got VHF radio and you can talk to one another. The fact that Grant had another GPS was good. So I'm talking about GPS, I'm just talking about one of these things. So for a while I was the only one that knew where we were going. And Richard was particularly disconcerted because here he's in a grey soupy bowl, can't see in any direction, can't see any other boats. We were heading that way. Not nice. And then of course if you put 4 knots of tide underneath it, which we didn't have. Yeah, you're the Lost African tribe in the long grass.
It gets even worse when the Jap squid boats are around and you just hear a thumping motor in the background.
Yeah, and the last trip home, I must know on this particular trip we got in the fog, there was a little coaster came through, out of the blue, just out of the grey, and just eventually the fog went. It's a funny thing about Wellington, in the summertime it gets fog despite the fact there's wind. It's kind of a sea fog thing. I don't know the chemistry of it, but the temperature inversion and you get a fog and yeah. Oops, I've just got a message. Pardon me. Take a crew if you can. We've been over on our own and got really knackered because we're not young anymore, but having the extra, Dave came up this last trip and it was great having this extra person to do simple things. Just to take over the helm for a while, to bounce an idea off, to help you. One of the trips I went to, this first trip over with Richard, we left in beautiful weather, so stupidly I didn't put on wet weather gear. It was sunny, it was like today, it was beauty. Halfway across it's blowing its tits off and it's cold and it's raining, and I want to put my leggings on. So either I heave to and muck around, or I keep on sailing, and I kept on sailing and I should have split the hove to. Be prepared to heave to, get dressed. Or have a cruise so someone else can run the damn boat while you're doing it. It's this exhaustion gets us people who are not young anymore. And it's a really hard trip.
Eating and drinking.
Yeah, well, yeah, eating and water's another thing, yeah, eating and drinking. They make food like something that you hand food ready to go before you leave. So you've got a sticky bun, or better than that, something to eat. And take dinner with you. And this might sound stupid, but if you're going across the other side, when you get there, you are going to be exhausted. And you're not going to want to do anything but get something frozen out of the chili bin, stick it on the cooker and cook it up and go to bed.
There's no takeaways in
Yeah, there's no takeaways. Yeah. So the other thing that's important over there is a trip report, which you've all done trip reports. Put up your hand who hasn't done a trip report? Yeah, there you go. She's from.
I haven't done any trips.
You haven't done any trips. There you go. If you're going over there, join Marlborough Marine Radio. They charge some $80 a year or something. They run a trip report system. You ring them up, tell them who you are, where you're going. It's a good process. You can't do it from Mana with your handheld radio because it won't reach, but one of these will reach.
So,
Are they not part of Coast Guard?
There's some.
No, they're the radio association.
Yeah, it's the radio association, not
Oh,
Coast Guard.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'll check back in. We were 5 minutes overdue into Kaitiuti and I'm ringing up. Are you there yet?
Which is really great. So, but you've got to also remember to cancel it. If you get over the other side, your VHF radio, you can get them great, even on the little handheld. But be prepared to cancel. If you're on this side, make the trip report, set the trip report up and cancel it using your phone because it's great. But once you get close to Mana Island on the handheld, it fizzles out. So, I've made up a little thing here which has got a cheap $100 tablet in it. The argument being if it went over the side it was only $100. And I've run, well not now Navionics, but there's various navigation apps you can put on. This runs as slow as a wet week, but it's quite good to be able to see where you are in proper sense. Now, if you've got a chart plotter and you can run a cable and do all that sort of thing, that's great. I don't like having cables around the boat. I'd rather have something with its own battery, which is what this has got. So the GPS in this is a bit crappy, but this is a little thing that you can get from Garmin called a Garmin Glow. And it's basically a smart GPS. It looks at all the gloss mass and all the other fancy GPS things, and it sends a message out on Bluetooth to anything that can receive it, so that gives a good position on this. So when you're sailing with this, Dave and I went across to Waiheke a couple of years ago, and we were going to this little bay, didn't quite know where it was, but you could see the little red mark on here. This is the direction you're sailing, this is where you're going. Really good investment. Problem with them is they don't like sunshine. unless you get the really, really, really expensive one. I've made up this thing here, you can have a look at it later. Basically, it's a roof. This lives in here. It's got shattered shade on the side. It's a pain in the ass, but I can see where we are on a sunny day.
One of those old photographers, Brian.
Yeah, well, I can't stress too much the need to be able to really see where you are, and some form of chart plotter or something running on a tablet or even on a phone, so you've got a pretty good idea of where you are. Preferably got backup so that it's not going to go flat. Because when the fog comes down, when the rain comes down, when the exhaustion comes down on a little boat, you don't have options. If you've got a keel boat, you can heave to and go and make a cup of tea and have a beer or whatever. In the little boats, you've got there's no escape. You've just got to keep going, and get there, and get over there. Sometimes the last trip David and I had was just idyllic. Apart from the fact the motor was running, but it was picture postcard stuff. And it doesn't happen very often. And the trip you went over in your P class started off in 20 knots, didn't it?
Yeah.
Peter? But it
started off pretty when you eased off in the afternoons.
So where did you leave from?
That was 10 hours, Mana.
And 10 hours?
A P class.
7 feet long, terrible boat, great boat to learn sailing.
On your own, Pete?
No, we had others around us.
You weren't the only P class.
No, well, there's other Sea Scout groups who were going a row across there as well.
So you had escorts.
So we didn't have escorts. And then, Richard, tell them about your little moment at Mana Island when we came back. Yeah, can tell you.
Can you hear me at the back?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks. So I was on the first attempt. Well, I set off naively, I think. Got around Mana Island in my navigator by myself. Yes. I had Grant and a Pathfinder and Junior Whaler. Sort of the three of us were going together. I went around Mana Island and I thought, oh my god, it's a little bit strong, I'm going to have to put a reef in. So I put a reef in and I carried on about another 300 yards and I thought, my goodness me, it's actually, I can handle this if I lean out. I can't possibly lean out for 8 hours. So I very wisely dropped the main, put the jib and jigger and the motor running full spin for 8 hours. And every hour I had to stop, the engine would run out of petrol, I had to climb over the back of the boat, pour petrol until it poured out of the motor, the one and the it was full, close it up, pull threw about a litre of water over it and started the engine off I went again. It was quite an adventure in itself. And the fog was interesting because my GPS it didn't really die so much as it got sunk. It was a fairly old one and the battery life was only good for about 3 or 4 hours before you had to change the batteries and it went flat. And of course when I changed the battery I was absolutely wet from head to toe by then because there's water everywhere and it never recovered, so I had lost my GPS. And at that point the fog was all around me. I thought, this is dumb, I'm going to turn around and go back. And I looked around and I realized I had no idea where back was. so I knew we had been on a port tack, hard port tack, just carry on straight and carry hope something changes. And they did. Out of the mist, the 2 boats appeared. They'd come back to look for me. And then we stayed a bit closer until the fog lifted. The other thing I didn't appreciate is how long it took to actually start. From Mana Cruising Club to Mana Island is about an hour. Then you start crossing. And then you get to Brothers, and then it's about another hour to where you can actually camp. So it's a very, 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 very long day. It was absolutely exhausting.
Exhausting.
Yeah, and just as after 3 days when I sort of was feeling almost okay, had recovered enough, we suddenly realized we're going to have to move our date of departure forward because there was a cyclone coming and we had to leave the next day. It was really a blow, I must say. I was pretty wrecked with that thought.
And then you got to Mana Island.
Yeah, I kept getting there. And we started out, and we were initially worried that we might have to motor the whole way. So we were jogging around petrol between the 3 of us, so we all had enough to get across. And it turned out there was actually quite a nice wind blowing the whole time. It was more like a reach than we weren't really pointy, we were doing a reach, weren't we?
Yeah.
And it started off quite nice, and I was the slowest because I'm the smallest boat, and these two right at the beginning you can see Mana Island. Mana Island has this very, very distinct shape. And you can see it almost immediately after leaving Brothers there, that's where you're going to. And an hour passes and the Mana Island hasn't got any bigger than an hour goes past and it's still exactly the same size and it carries on for at least 5 hours and it doesn't get any closer. And while we were doing this, the wind was slowly picking up and the sea state was getting slightly worse. and you don't want to stop because you're by yourself. You don't want to, you know, I should have put a reef in, but it was too much effort. You don't want to hope to in that sort of sea. I was really just concentrating on keeping the worst of the water out the boat. The waves breaking over the front of me and into the boat. The waves actually breaking behind me into the boat. I've never had that before, ever. I was sort of perched on the side. I needed a wee. A weed, doesn't matter.
TMI.
And carried on. Anyway, eventually got to Mana Island in one piece. And I was going around the top of Mana Island where there's always a tidal race. And in the middle of the tidal race, the gudgeon pin of the rudder fell out and I lost my rudder. So the first thing I did was grab the radio and try the radio for help. And the radio was, as far as I could see, dead. And that actually was really a saviour because it meant that I was in the situation, I had to get myself out. And I got my brain going. And it was actually quite easy. I dropped the main, started the engine, that allowed me to steer because I could turn the engine around on this sort of bracket. Wiggled the boat around into the lee of Mana Island, jury-rigged the paddle and jury-rigged it into the rudder and set off sailing home through Binjiga. It was okay. Then I got hold of realised the radio actually just been switched off somewhere on the line and I phoned up Grant and said, I got hold of Grant and said, I've got this minor problem. And the bugger insisted on getting the Coast Guard out for me. So, and they all came and sat alongside me and we all chugged the three of us back home. I was exhausted. It took me about 3 or 4 days before I could walk with my legs back together again. You're sitting on the edge of the boat, you're balancing yourself, and the boat is moving, and you're trying to balance, and it just goes on and on for hour and hour and hour. I had water, but I had nothing to eat. I had nothing hot to drink. If I had somebody else, it would have made life so much easier. So if I did it again, I'd definitely take a crew along. Without a doubt. Having 2 people to talk to, make decent, intelligent decisions. Yeah, and also the boat goes better. That's quickly enough. Navigators need an extra 50 or 80 kilos.
I think Richard touched on one other thing I forgot about, which is critically important, is sea state. There's no good, accurate prediction of sea state over there. And we find, going over there in small boats, the sea state will change in a kilometre. You've got nice, easy going, and all of a sudden you come into an area where it's to do with tidal overfalls and shit like that, I suppose, but it's horrible and it's breaking waves over the front and it's miserable. And then 300 or 400 metres on, it's come right again. But those ones where you can really get knocked around again. The sea state is much better when there's neap tides, theoretically, and much worse when there's spring tides, theoretically. But don't expect the sea state to stay more than what it's like for more than half an hour, because it'll be different.
Yeah, the best way to cross the channel is on the ferry.
Yep, that was my fault. That's it, folks. Take the ferry.
The outgoing tide, when you catch it, actually takes you down the coast. So it takes you down towards Wellington. And then the next tide that comes in takes you back up through past Brothers into Queen Charlotte Sound. And that's the way we always did it with the keelers. Little boats are a little bit different, they tend to sit on the surface. They're not actually really affected by the tide.
Is there any shelter at Mana?
No.
Nothing.
Well, there's a mooring buoy on the inland inshore side of it. You need to be desperate, but you won't float away, but yeah.
You can get into Macra shoreline, you can tuck in around the headland, but it's not pleasant.
No, that would be horrible.
No.
Whole of last resort.
Yeah.
Sorry, the question was?
Go for.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to ask, you've got a lot of electrical set up on your boat.
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with all of that in this experience?
No, I make it work. That's about preparation, you've got to make sure it's working. That's why I don't have things running on cables. I've got battery things. Like this, the guy's got the old-fashioned AA batteries in. I've got a bag full of them in the boat. This thing here has got its own battery in it, plus, for some small amount, I've got a power bank from the warehouse. And this will run this thing for...
Yeah, but that's on your boat. On my boat, everything is wet by the end of after half an hour. Everything is wet.
Expecting, so you capsize if you're sitting on the windward side backwards. Yeah. So be really aware of that. Any boat with an unstayed rig, we've all seen lasers capsize. Same issue.
We have a capsize drill.
That's a really big sail for a little boat. Yeah, it has got it. Not As soon as the water's supporting a bit of his weight, it stops.
Somebody help that at the end there.
Notice there's not very much water in there. Might be some weed, but not much water.
If you capsize it the other way, it'd be more difficult to get hold of the centerboard.
So there's the strap in action.
So Robin's about to do his second capsize. He's only 76 kg, but he does have a system on the point to take the Scamp over. That's clever. That's clever. The main sheet's around him, is it? Yeah. He's untangled that main sheet. There it goes. Wow. The Scamp. He's back in. Rolls in. Perfect.
Perfect, well done.
That's brilliant. Well done, team.
Cool. You don't need to bow, it's okay.
No, that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.